Yeah, that's me. My name is Joe Kye, and it's wonderful to be here. I'm a musician, I'm a storyteller, and I am a composer. Been doing this. I started in 2013. I was a high school English teacher for 4 years straight out of college. I was in the heart of Microsoft country, up in Redmond, Washington, at like a private school. Left that, and when my partner started her medical residency down in Davis, California, I started doing music full time in 2013. Moved here in 2016. Oh wow, people up there, hi. Yeah, moved up here in 2016, and man, I don't think I'll be stopping anytime soon. Um, Yeah, I've been working on myself a lot recently. A lot of therapy, a lot of journaling, a lot of kind of creative work. And I think the thing the thing that I've been really trying to digest and process is, yeah, my childhood, and how that continues to affect me today, right? How am I responding to the outside world? And a lot of it is because of, yeah, my childhood and this driving question, what do others think of me? Yeah, I moved to the US when I was 6 years old. I was born in Seoul, South Korea. And I remember when I was around 5, about to turn 6, my parents were like, hey, we're leaving, right? We're leaving everything you know and hold dear, and we're just gonna start afresh in the land of MacGyver in the land of MacGyver. And so, once I got here, it was a lot, right? How do I belong? How do I prove my value? And you had American friends. This is fifth grade. I'm trying so hard. There's Josh Hoyt and Colin Hopkins. Um, you got to remember their names. You forget their names, you're screwed. They're not going to like you. How did I prove my value? A lot of performing. Guess what? I'm still here. I'm still doing it. Performing, music, jokes about things that I'm like, oh, that wasn't funny. That was at my expense. Oh, that was just straight up racist against myself. Ha ha ha, guys! Like it's cool. It's cool. I'm one of you. I remember talent show senior year of high school. I was like really a big crush on Claire Gallagher, and yeah, I wrote this song, like so much teenage love, unrequited love dumped into a song, and then I like the all school talent show. I was like, I'm gonna perform this for Claire. I know, so cringe. But I was like, okay, this is how I prove my value, right? It's like, hey, look at me. I can do this thing. I can do it well. And then also, how do I prove I belong to my own home, right? All of my friends who are kind of making jokes about short round and like North Koreans digging tunnels, ha ha ha. Thanks for cutting out, Mike. This wasn't funny. But even in my home, right? This is what I'm 6. I'm at a Korean church in Boston, Massachusetts. There's me in the cardigan. Something's never changed. And even in this group, right? I'm trying to prove that like I'm enough to to be to be. And I remember around this age, I remember being at a church member's house, and this is like 6, 7-year-old Joe, and the ajumas were they had just made the kimchi jjigae. It's like, oh yeah, and then my mom was like, hey, like Hyuna iriwa, like come here, and like try this. And I remember just like trying it because that's what you do. Is like you're like, and the ajumas were like, oh, like he even eats like a Korean. Um, because like their kids had been born here, right? And they were like burgers and fries, and I was like, like oh, 맛있다. And Oh, you know what? The battery pack might have been loose. Um, then I remember in college, right, as I was trying to get back, right, try to prove my value again, I was like, okay, I'm gonna hang out with the international Koreans. And it turns out if you want to hang out with the international Koreans in college, you got to drink like them. Um, and that's when I realized, like, I'm not that Korean. I can't keep up with you guys. Um, and then, perhaps the most important, right, is with my family. Here we are, third grade, San Francisco, a brief sojourn for a few months before we ended up in Seattle, Washington. Yeah. My dad moved, why did we move? We moved here, my dad was a history teacher in Seoul, South Korea, and decided to come here to get his PhD in history so that he could go back, so that he could go back with that degree and get a job. It was really tough. It was super competitive in the 90s because of economics, the IMF stuff. Family of four, TA salary in the humanities, like what? It wasn't comfortable. I remember my mom. She used to work illegally at a teriyaki restaurant, washing dishes, to make rent work. And I remember kind of sitting by the swing set with my sister, and we would wait for her to come home on the bus, and we'd kind of, when she come, we'd like get flowers and dandelions, like, here, Mom, and kind of escort her home, and, like ice water baths in the bowl. And these are, 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds who are tasked with care. I remember translating. I'm a musician, right? So it's like, you want to have things to play, and so I remember as a fifth grader being at Bischofberger Violin in Seattle, and I'm translating a haggling session between my dad and Mr. Bischofberger, and it was super traumatizing. Like, I knew we were poor, and like it was, we were eating a lot of 99-cent Big Macs, and so to be this kid being like, I want to play the violin, like, what the hell? Who the hell are you to like take food off the table? So, my dad is not a good haggler, and also just very like emotional, angry. And so when he's saying something to Mr. Bischofberger, I'm like inserting, right? I'm filtering, and I'm like, oh yeah, like this is what he said. Haha, like maybe he'll give us a deal. And then meanwhile, like I'm also adding respect to what Mr. Bischofberger is saying to protect my dad's pride, right? Just a lot of how can I be of use, right? That's my purpose. That's how I gained affection and affirmation from my family. Worked really hard. It's what happens when, I guess, your parents pin their dreams and their hopes and their sacrifices on you. Went to Yale University. It was great. I didn't do great, but I got there. Graduated, and I was teaching high school English, like I said. This is me as coach of the Ultimate Frisbee team. Any Ultimate Frisbee players? Yes, Jeff, what's up? Yes. All two of us. And it was about the fourth year. I was applying to graduate schools, and I was like, okay, I'm going to study Asian American musicians who are using music as a vehicle for social justice, and basically just trying to be my dad. And that's, as I was talking to people who were actually doing it, I was like, oh, I don't want to sit in a library and write papers about people who are creating culture. Like, I want to do that. I want to create the culture. I want to be a creative. And it took it took some gracious people, some parental figures. My mentor teacher, Mia Wall, who saw how much I enjoyed music and said, "Hey, you should do this. Like, you can always come back to teaching. This is, I give you permission." She didn't say that, but that's how it felt to me. I felt like I got permission. And so I left and started in 2013. It's a crazy thing, right? I mean, I don't know if y'all are creative professionals, but what were you thinking? I was doing, this is in Sacramento, California. I'm doing like 4 open mics a night, and it's all random. Yeah, or no, sorry, not a night, a week. Yeah. Wow, that would have been, even that would be too much. Sometimes 2 a day, 2 a night, and it's all the luck of the draw, right? And oftentimes you get drawn last, and you're playing for Bob, who's never left that seat at the bar. You know what I mean? It's just Bob and me and the open mic host at like 1 a.m. It's like, okay, why am I doing this to myself? I slowly started to get like session violin opportunities. Like, hey, we're playing a show at Arlo's. If you come and sit in with the band, give you $20 and a beer. Like, okay, great, sign me up. That sounds great. And things started going well. I was also making my own music, right, and kind of pursuing the dream, as it were. And so this is 2015. I was coming out with my debut record, Joseph in the Well EP. I love 2015. Like, Joseph in the Well, diversity of sound. Like, what the hell does that mean? That means we're in Sacramento, and like this person is not white, so we're gonna slap diversity on it, and call it even. And I was enjoying the ride, and at the same time, well, you'll see. So this is the song that I think I was really proud of, and people really gravitated during that time. Let's see if it'll play. Nice, thank you. But even in that song these days, right? I look back at that song and I'm like, oh, the first lyrics, right? It's like, I would write a happy song for you to make your dreams come true. Da 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 da. You would spend the night alone and cry to sleep upon the kitchen floor. It's like, oh man, it's all about you, right? It's like, I would write a happy song for you to make your dreams come true. I mean, it's a banger. I like it. But yeah, it's 2015, and I think it encapsulates kind of those questions. How do I prove my value? How can I be of worth? And I think that I had finally gotten permission, right, to do this thing, to pursue a life of creativity. And yet I was still plagued with these questions. Be of use. So I found myself performing for community. This was in 2016. Bernie Sanders rally in Sacramento, California. Like 15,000 people playing the national anthem and like sharing my story. Yeah. And I was just throwing myself at a lot of community events, like Asian events, right? Like Asian American, we're doing this for our community. Oh, great! Like, sign me up. Like, I'll do that because that's what my role is. Education. I was a artist in residence in the Sacramento Metropolitan Arts Commission. Working with like second and third graders. I was chasing a lot. And perhaps no greater chase job. Oh man, I'm so down on this right now. Can you sense that? It's okay. No, you're right. It was beautiful. This is Tiger. It was a celebration of our American and Pacific Islander community. Coming out of 2021, we had the Atlanta spa shootings. I'm scrolling through my feed. One of the few ways that I can connect with human beings. And seeing pictures, videos of people that look like my dad, that look like my sister, me, like getting freaking beaten up and murdered. Like, what? And I was devastated, and I was looking for a way to get out of that. And so what I wanted was to perform for people for whom I just wouldn't have to explain. So many of my performances before that was like, hey, I am an immigrant, but like, I am human too. Like, let's reduce it down to this very bland kind of universalist message, right? And instead I was really hankering for, like, can I talk about this and then I don't have to do any explaining and people just feel it because they've lived it, right? That lived experience was something that I was looking for. So I was like, oh, I'll just organize a festival. And the first year it was really great. It was small. It was, we had about 800 people show up at Fernhill Park. And it was a great performance. But then people were like, oh, do it again. And I was like, yeah, of course, I will. I'll do this for the community. And so last year, I was, oh my God, the grants. I was basically the executive director of a nonprofit. Yeah, except we weren't a nonprofit. We had a fiscal sponsor, Apano. But I was doing the grants. I was doing the PR. I was managing the social media. I'm trying to work with someone on day of event design. Like, just doing so much for them, and in the meanwhile, I was really, I was cramping my own style. We had almost 2,000 people show up this past summer, and KGW covered it. We had 3 installation artists that were doing things with the community. We had a mural. We had, performers. We had 7 food vendors, and we're all exploring and building up the Asian American community in Portland, which are all amazing things to do. I so believe in the mission of that, right? Like, how do we progress? Like, we freaking create new things, right? Like, how do we all belong as we create new things that we have participated in and feel that connection to, and we can be like, oh, this ritual includes all of us. But I don't have to do it. I had ulcers in my stomach. I laid out for a disc playing Gulti, which is a part of ultimate, like a sub sport of ultimate frisbee. And like, it took me like 9 months to heal because I was not taking care of my body. I was also just like a bad dad. I'm throwing myself at like children's music because people like that. And so this is like children's music with a mission. And meanwhile, I'm just draining that energy for strangers' kids and not doing the thing that really means a lot to me, which is not being my dad. And so I burnt out. And what did burnout look like? I was at I was on the Olympic Peninsula at a library doing a children's show. I was like, I'm gonna bring the kids. This will be great. And they're literally hanging off of me while I'm playing music in the library for like parents and kids. And I was just not enjoying it whatsoever. Like, I was just miserable doing this. I signed up for the Western Arts Alliance, which is like the conference for performing arts agents and vendors and artists, etc. This is up in Seattle, and it's like I'm just selling myself to these people, and it all felt so. Yeah. I canceled my first show. Hi, Sarah. The Tualatin Library. Yeah, I was like, oh, no, you're right. Thank you. I was in such a like dark space, proving value, being of use, chasing others' needs instead of my own. And I finally kind of gave myself pause to stop. I stopped performing, played a lot of Smash Brothers. Any Smash Brothers players here? Oh, great. Who's your character? Who's your Pikachu? Nice. Was there some hands over here? Is there? Yeah. Kirby, Ness. That's the OG, yeah. One of the only good things to come out of that conference was that on a whim, I reached out to Joe Kye, who is the civic poet of Seattle, and she gifted me this book, Requisite by Tanya Holtland. And Tanya's work is, I guess, spiritual ecology, I guess is the way to best kind of define it. There's a lot of nature imagery and also an embracing, well, I'm just going to read some passages. So yeah, imagine Joe in a bathrobe, destitute, in his garage, reading this and finding a little bit. I'm learning that there are things we can only talk about underwater, that there is a struggle in only being able to see one of your lifetimes at a time, of always sitting in the same seat in the theater while the Congress of you watches. The ways we fear are what keep us manufacturing endlessly. Immortal substance, our plastic cocoon. By not giving death its due, we run ourselves faster toward it. Investigate what you are building with the days you are given, with the body born of and to you. Remember that the solution will be known the closer you get to yours. And yes, we are here. Love and everything open as the waters imagining shape. And Tanya's words really they really help me shift my perspective. Yeah, my creative practice now is, yeah, it's for me. It's deeply enriching, it's healing, it's filled with just an authentic sense of grief and hope and joy. Yeah, let me share a little bit of it with you. Thank you. Yeah, I feel like I'm talking to myself. I've been holding to pictures of my grandparents, some of whom I've never met, and really creating a space for me to exist fully, the ugliness and all of it, and in that process, I've been really. It's a sound diary. It's a regular practice. It doesn't feel forced. It just is, and it's been giving me a lot of truth, a lot of self-truth. So yeah, here are my expectations, I guess, at this point from my career. I'm gonna make what is deeply meaningful for me, that which sustains me. And if there are people out there for whom my work is meaningful, then great. I'm happy to have you along. But yeah, yeah. Thanks.